All right, let's get it out. Thank you. Okay, so I got it out. We're getting ready to try trimming grass. And here is the adjustment that I made coming up under here. I had quite a bit. I think I had almost all the way up to this actually tightened down or whatever. And it, like as soon as I put the tension on the belt, it just killed the motor and wouldn't run hardly at all. So I took a lot of that off. As you can see, now I've got I mean a good 2.5 inches probably of bare cord, and that is just a general way I'm gauging it. You know, every cord might be a little bit different, you know, depending on manufacturer date and all that good stuff. But for now, that's kind of like, it was quite a few parts, you know, it was closer to the black sheathing than it is now. So that's what we're going to try to run it as, and give it a good try. Fought with it for a while because it was trying to shut off, and started running better, but it's still very weak. I'll go through what I think it is now in a bit. All right, so is it fixed? No. That's the bad news. But after a while, I did start pushing it, and it did okay. It still wanted to fail in the high grass, which I know that's been a complaint all along on this mower. It's just they needed more power, so obviously down the road they did add that power. However, I was cutting pretty, maybe at 2 inches, which is still substantial, but normally I don't think it would struggle with this, especially, after the belt problems. So my new theory is, you may have heard in the, while it's running by itself, you can definitely hear that sputter, that puh, puh, puh sound or whatever, which is normally associated with a gasket, a head gasket on here. That is probably going to be my next thing to replace. And I actually bought a gasket last winter because I was just kind of thinking like it's got to be a head gasket. But as I was out here kind of trimming around and such, I noticed that there's big kind of clouds of smoke. Usually I kind of consider, you know, the white smoke more of a head gasket issue, and this was some black sooty smoke. So where we're at with that, I'm not sure. I may have to tear the whole thing down, but we're going to go ahead and start with this head gasket replacement soon. But the only other thing I did was, you may have seen me kind of bend down, and right here is your idle spring tension. So you can actually pull this up. That puts more tension on the governor and will in fact increase the speed. However, it also increases it while it's sitting there. And while it's sitting there, there's no problems at all. It's only upon getting pressure on the belts. So that's probably not the correct move to move that. So I didn't want to take it up too much. I'll get a RPM read soon though on that and kind of see what's going on. But at this moment, I'm leaning toward a head gasket. So we'll after I get the lawn finished today, I only got the front done now. As you can tell, it does a great job. You know, like overall, that's way better. You know, you see the neighbor, all of his grass, he uses one of those cheapo push mowers, and it just clumps the grass up, and this does a hell of a job mulching. So it's got that on it. I am going to do the back. I guess I'll do a before and after. So this is kind of like the backyard before we start, and that's just my normal super recycler that we use. But you know, you can see that it's getting a little high, and that's what we're going to try to go through now, see if we get a lot of problems. But I'll give you an after of this too. All right, here's the backyard, and I am going to bring it around, see if it does okay. just a comment. You know, as expected, the TimeMasters or time cutter, I guess it's no TimeMaster. Yeah, that's right. They always have great cut quality. Mulching is just superior. You know, unless you paid double for the X mark, this is pretty darn good. So as you can see, it's a pretty good quality cut. Some spots I'm going to mark in the video, just kind of showing where that puff comes from. Normally with a smaller mower like that, I don't even like replace the head gaskets. I don't even tell customers, like, just run it till it dies, then we'll worry about that. However, you know, maybe this one is so dependent on that every tiny little bit of power that I should go ahead and replace the head gasket. I do have that currently, so that's probably what we're going to go ahead and replace. So I'm going to make some room in the garage, jostle some things around, and we're going to put the time cutter down here by this tractor because I want to get these two out very quick. The time cutter, the pull down, and the steel combi unit, I really want to get these out because they're big ticket items that I could easily sell. So I'm gonna kind of get going on this, and hopefully very soon get all these sold. But looks like there's going to be a part 4 on the time cutter fix.